proper.
I like that.
It was a thing.
It is.
We have a video.
It was very.
And you were
like
both
that.
very quiet.
Yeah, we were wondering. Well, I was wondering what was going to come.
You think it's going to be really embarrassing. Good morning,
When you said
Sylvia.
video, I thought,
But that made us look very proper.
well,
It did, didn't it? It's very professional.
we're speechless, which is a first, isn't it, for us lot?
Good afternoon, Lucky Fairy Queen. Good morning,
Hello.
Amanda. Good morning, Luna.
Hi, Luna.
Lots of people here. Lots of people. We can see the numbers.
I love it when people lurk in the background.
They do, don't they? Yeah, lurking. God, it's nearly the end of July. It's mad how quickly this year has gone. And yes, we are still melting in England. Good morning, Angela. Yeah, it's too hot for me. Way too hot for me. Just saying. Guten Morgen, Xenia. Guten Morgen. That's clever, isn't it? Having all this stuff here. Having a tech whiz putting all the stuff up. Good morning, Claire. Good morning,
Hi,
Tina. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony from sunny Clonelly. Yeah, it's a little bit overcast here. I'm hoping it will stay that way. Then I won't melt.
Yeah.
Sylvie, I have to come down to Cornwall. It's around 19 here every day. We were in Cornwall a couple of years ago. Yeah, lovely part of the country. Good morning, David. Today is weird. David, every day for you is weird, I think. New moon, weird, I feel. So this is going to be a fun phase.
It's a Leo new moon.
Let's embrace it.
Yep.
Let's run with it. Yep.
Yeah. No, Leo new moon. It's going to be wild.
We'll embrace the
I
weirdness.
did feel like that yesterday. This is totally unwitchy, but yesterday I got out my third ironing board all in one day.
Oh my!
Both my jobs I did. And then
you
I
are
come home and I did my
so
own.
rock and roll,
Rachel. I did Rachel, and I
hate ironing. Absolutely hate ironing. Lucky Fairy Queen.
Get mine out.
Okay, no ironing too. Thanks for recommending Morgan Daimler. Morgan Daimler is actually, I recorded a podcast with Morgan Daimler this week, which will be out next month, all about the Irish pantheon. Found out yesterday she has a really good book on Freya. She does, who I work with, ordered it. So damn excited to read it. Saw your short about the book too. Anything to do with Irish deities, Irish pantheon, fairy world, Morgan Daimler is she's my go-to for that. She's very, very good. David Ironing Board, never heard of them. No, I try and avoid it. Try and avoid it at all costs. Angela's rained here for 10 days straight. Fed up with it now. Oh no, it's not even that warm. Not here in the summer. I was hoping for some sunshine for my birthday, but no such luck. Boo. Our garden could do with some rain, that's for sure. The plants are really struggling this year.
I mean, we've had some heavy showers, but it's made very little difference.
Yeah, did know. Yeah. But we're British. We're allowed to moan about the weather, whatever it is. It's a traditional pastime. Good evening, Sephora. Sephora, obviously, in her winter, which is always very, very bizarre that it's different time zones. Makes my head explode. Right, so this is Divination, part 2, because we ran out of time talking part 1. Good morning, Tony. Can highly recommend Ishtar Freya handmade items. Do hop on over to Etsy and have a look, because Tony has some amazing things. Lucky Fairy Queen, so hot over here. Random rains. I like that phrase, random rain. This year has been, the weather is very weird. This is, we're not used to this kind of heat over here. So, yeah, I think the weather system is completely messed up. Kerry, hate ironing. Wish it was overcast here as I've got, digging to do in this heat is not fun. Not fun. David Morgan has loads of great books. I seriously recommend them to anyone. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good.
Sephora's sitting in front of a fire. That's just mad. For those that don't know, Sephora's in New Zealand, so she is in her winter over there. Angela, been given some money for my birthday today, so may have to indulge in a purchase or 2 or 10 books from your website. Yay! You're very welcome, Tony. Very, very clever. Wonderful items. Good morning, Nicola. Lots of people rocking up today. Lots of people.
I know. I'm trying to keep up.
Keep going. Good morning, Emma. Yeah, we're all good, thank you. Ready for the shenanigans. Sephora, not only is it winter, but it's dark too. Yes, you don't think about that, do you? Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Good morning, Jane. Computer keeps freezing even in this hot weather. Maybe it just is overheated. I know how it feels. Emma, I've got a fibro flare up, so timing's difficult. Be watching though. We know you're there, Emma. Big hugs to you. Obviously, cool hugs and not hot, sweaty ones. Steve, do you ladies use numerology for divination at all? Well, it's funny you should mention that. Not generally numerology, because that's maths and I'm not good with maths, but I'm going to show you my dice today and there are numbers involved in there. So watch this space. Angela, had to light our fire in Brittany 2 days ago. Wow. You're not that far away from us either, are you? Good morning, Karen. Right, let's get started, because otherwise we'll run out of time again and we'll go into divination part 3. Although we will be doing more Waffling Witches on a regular basis, so there is no escape. Yeah. Right, Heather, do you want to start with your other string to your bow? You did bones last time, didn't you?
I did do bones last time. I actually got a little selection out because I thought, just in case we ran out of time, I'd talk about some of my other bits as well. But my other main thing that I do when I'm doing readings is that I use the Ogham, which is the ancient Irish alphabet, and I have my little collection of goodies sitting in front of me here. So I have got a little wooden set that I made myself, and because pyrography is not one of my strong points, I did try pyrography. But yeah, they went a very strange shape. So I have got a little set of round wooden beach things. Could I find them today? No.
Oh,
interesting.
Didn't want to be seen. Didn't want to be seen.
I have hunted everywhere. I cannot find them anywhere. But yeah, they're sort of like little round beech wood, just little circles. And I actually used a Sharpie pen. So they were my first set that I made myself. I then made a set of cards for myself, which are just very plain. As you can see, they've got the actual symbol. They've got the letter that it represents at the top. I'll move it a bit closer. So they've got the letter at the top. And then at the bottom, it's the Irish word, because I tend to try and use the Irish words for them, their Irish names. So that's Beth, which is linked to the birch tree. Then you've got Luce, which is linked to the rowan, and so on. So those were the first ones that I made, cards that I made for myself. And they're just very plain, very easy. But yeah, so they still get used quite a lot. I think this might be because they're only on thin cardstock. So I think this might be the second set that I've actually made, because the other one sort of got a bit tatty. I've then got, and these are the ones that I tend to use when we're doing readings. And again, they've got the, these won't be in order. These ones are the ones that I tend to use for readings. And again, as you can see, very similar, other than they're a bit prettier. I think I got these from Etsy. But again, they've got the symbol, clearly. They've got the tree that it's linked to and the Irish word, which again is what I liked. They've also then got the person's personal interpretations. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. Because that's the thing with Owen.
I have to say, generally, she ignores them or argues with them.
Yeah. I was trying to be polite. Yeah, most of them I don't agree with, I have to admit. But it's personal interpretation. So I don't tend to go with the little bits at the bottom. So
She argues with the sat nav too. Just for
I
the
do,
record.
yeah. She hasn't got a clue. But again, it's the symbol that tends to resonate more for me. So that's why I like these, because they've got the bigger symbol that I can gaze at and get some. And then I've got now these were a gift from a very good friend of mine, Lisa. And she picked these up at a fair, and she didn't know why, because she doesn't do Owen. And she picked these up several years ago, and they've been sitting around. And then about 2 years ago now, she suddenly said, I need to give you these. And she gave them to me. And they are absolutely adorable, but you can't really see them. They are literally the Owen on the sticks. And they are. So I do occasionally, they do occasionally come out for readings, because sometimes the box jumps up and down and says, me, 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 me. But I have to hold them really close up so that people can actually see what the symbols are. But aren't they gorgeous? And they feel, so if I'm doing a reading for myself, these are the ones that I tend to gravitate to more than the others. But yeah, that was a very, very...
Are they all on one wood, or are they
Yes,
each
they
on
are
one
all
wood?
on one wood. They're not, because there is this I don't know if it's a myth or whether it's just a thing that's come out where you hunt for each individual wood, which is very interesting, because vine, you can get vine wood, obviously, because grapes do grow on vines, but vine in this country probably originally meant blackberry bushes or
Oh,
blackberry.
okay.
And trying to get a vine from that or a stick from that is a bit tricky, I think, possibly. And the same with honeysuckle. How would again, if
Yes,
it
that would
grows
be
big
difficult.
enough, you
Yeah,
can. But
have
yeah,
to be a
so
really
I
old
think that's
one,
more
wouldn't
of
it?
a newer idea, and I think it is a
Right.
lovely idea. I'm not dissing it. I think
Mm.
it's a lovely idea, and if you have the opportunity to find all those woods in time in your lifetime to actually make an album, I think that's wonderful. But I think for those of us that are perhaps a little bit older and are urban dwellers, shall I say, rather than being out in the woods all the time, I think if you can find a wood that works, use it. These are, I think, are on apple.
Oh,
So they're
nice.
on apple, which again, beautiful wood to work with. And they just feel, so no, they're not all on the individual. They are all on the same wood. But as I say, I think that's personal choice. If you've got time to go and find every single wood, well done. That's fabulous. Um, I gave up. That's why I just went with little beach things in the end. And then, as I say, Lisa very kindly gifted me that. And then, so for those of you that know Yuri Leach, I think is how you pronounce Leach, he actually brought out a card set recently. And I've split it. It could actually be split into three. I've split it into two. It comes as one, obviously. So I'll show you the big bit first. So this is So again, what he's done is he's given you the tree. So you've still got the ogham right up in the little top corner, and you've got the name, so the tree name. So that's that one. He's also then got these others. So this is like the sword of Nuada, which always kills. You've got then got this ivy. Where's another different one in here? Oh, you've got to see. Isn't that cute? That's fine.
The actual symbol is quite small on the card.
It is. So yeah. So this is why I've separated these ones out, and I do use them. So that's one of the different ones. That's the weaver. So that's showing you all the different ways that the ogham can actually interlink together. Which, I mean, the way he works with the ogham is absolutely fascinating. Look at this one.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, when you pull that in a reading, that's deep. There's another. That's Nematona.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice. And then there's the self, heading off into finding your own. This one I love, the Spear of Lu. Always finds its mark. So if you're in a reading, if you get it, it's you're going to find the answer. You'll find it's So yeah, so that's the bigger part of it. Me being me, obviously, separated it off, and as I say, you could actually separate that bigger bit off into two. These are the actual oghams. And what I love about it is that he's given the old Irish. That's Tinner, so that's holly, as you can see from the picture. But he's done a dryad hidden in amongst all the ogham and the foliage for each of these. So Tinner, holly, that's wealth and abundance. Tinner in Old Irish is the word for ingot. Then you've got strath, which is blackthorn. And they are beautiful.
They're nice.
But again, you've got a lovely big symbol there. You've got the Irish name, and you've got the plant. Oh yeah, you've got this one. So the forefeather. So you can actually use your hand to actually read ogham. That's in one of the ancient scripts. But yeah, they are beautiful. So yeah, they are all my oghams that I play around with. But yeah, as long as I've got the symbol, the big symbol, then I can read. If I've just got the word or the tree, I tend to get a little bit. I need the symbol to be able to see, if that makes sense. And I know everyone reads differently, but that's just me. I need the symbol so that I can actually start to connect in my brain. So yeah.
Right, we got some comments here. This one made me laugh. Jane says the dryad lurking in the tin card looks like Michael Jackson.
I know there are some, but I don't tend to take an awful lot of notice of the. Where is? I won't find it now, will I? I don't. I have to admit. I mean that one. That's. I will. The one thing I will say is that although he's used the Irish words, some of the spelling is a little bit suspect because da should be da, not du. But
right.
Hey ho, that could be a mistake in the printing. I don't know. But yeah, that's and she, I don't tend to take an awful lot of notice of the dryads. Sorry, Yuri, for all your hard work. But yeah, they. I mean that one is just gorgeous. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
That's the garden. That's
Ivy.
your personal sanctuary. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and then there's that one. That one is that's actually Fion's window, the big circular bit at the bottom.
Okay.
And again, that's in the ancient manuscripts. That's how somebody tried to make an understanding of it, but it's known as Fion's window. And you can see again the interconnections.
Yeah,
between
with all the symbols.
Yeah. But
nice.
Yeah, beautiful work, absolutely beautiful artwork, and very easy to actually work with to do a reading.
Good morning, Louis. David says, carving on honeysuckle. Man, that would be something. It would. My partner has honeysuckle garden. Best not, she'd kill me. Yes, she would.
Yeah, Mandy would not let you do that.
No, Jane, no chance of me finding all those different woods. I've got apple and cherry, but I'll probably use them to make wands, not staves. Nice idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, good morning. Make my own oracle cards that are connected to nature in some way, flowers, landscape, weather, etc. Actually, I have got a set of runes that I'm going to show you in a minute that's along those ideas. Good morning, Lani. Blackberry crumble, nice. It's
Oh.
clearly meant to be here this morning.
Yeah, I just made my first dose of blackberry jam the other day.
Sephora has. If anyone likes Animal Tarot, just treated myself to Orion's Animal Tarot Pocket Edition. It's rather gorgeous. Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have to look that one up. Nicola. Heather, you have inspired me to start a collection of bones. I was asking someone if they had some bird heads the other day, which is your normal conversation with people. So I've now found a good source with no harm to the animal form. Nice.
Brilliant. Yeah. Fantastic. Do let us know how you get on.
Yeah. Oh, Xenia likes the cards and the wood erms. Yep, all good. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. Loved my reading from you three so much. Absolutely can recommend it. Thank you.
Thank you.
David just did morning divination today from my good Omen pack. Oddly, I didn't shuffle the deck, just pulled the first card and it was the Fool. I'm feeling that. Yeah, it's new moon as well, isn't it? So that ties in with the Fool as well. Yeah. So it's all good. David, dice. Throw a D4 for what the hell is wrong with today. Jane, I'm sure artists sneak a few celebs into their work. I found a Christmas card a few years ago with Joseph looking like David Beckham. See, I would have bought that. I would have bought that. That's funny. Right, Heather's got some other goodies out. What you got for us, Heather?
Well, no, I'll save those for later. Because you two've got to talk yet.
Shall I do my dice quick? Let me do my dice. Let's do my dice.
Do your dice.
Do my dice. Right, so I have got two things here. I've got dice. This is quite new to me, so I am still learning, but I quite liked the idea of a set of dice. So what I actually did was search the internet. So I have some Dungeons and Dragons dice with numbers on. I have a set of planetary dice, and I have a set of dice that represent the planet areas. And then I have these. I've got some wooden ones here and some plastic ones. They're storytelling dice. You can buy sets of them, different sets. So I bought a couple and just picked out the ones I like to mix them together. And they are literally, you throw the dice and you might get a penguin. Oh, that's a polar bear. And you write a story about it. But they actually work really well in divination. So there are things like there's bee and shark and penguin, and those I take the animal spirit meanings from. There are then so there's a L shape, so that might be learning something new. There's a footprint, which might mean being grounded or taking a step forward. There's a question mark, so that might be literally a question. There's a key. Can't really see in the light there, can you? There's a key there, which is unlocking something. There's a magnifying glass, which means that you might have to look into something a little bit deeper. So all of these little dice there's an arrow, there's a clock, there's a light bulb. Each of them will have slightly different meanings depending on what the reading is and how you interpret them. There's no right or wrong with these, it's just how you interpret them when they come out in a reading. The numbers are slightly different. So you asked about numerology earlier. I think that was Steve, wasn't it? So some of them, the purple dice, has 12 sides. Yeah, 12 sides. They're the different planetary areas. So 10 is all about unity, completed cycles. Number 1 is leadership. 2 is love. They've all got their own different meanings too. But you can also use them as houses. So I've got 2 dice that go 1 to 10. You can also use it as houses. So number 1 on here would be the self. It would be new beginnings. Number 5 might be fertility, creativity, romance. So the numbers have got different meanings, and it depends whether that dice comes out or that dice comes out as to whether it's houses or just basic numerology. I'm a bit iffy on those, so I'm still learning with those ones. Then you've got the planetary ones here with all the different. That one, I don't know if you can see that one. It always looks like the Starship Enterprise to me. It's actually Uranus, but it looks like the Starship Enterprise. But these have got different meanings too. So I mean, there's the moon and the sun and Neptune and Pluto and Jupiter, and of course they've got their own meanings as well. So that will, when you get that in a reading, so the sun might be ego or stamina. Mercury might be communication. So that will depend on what comes out there. And then I've got a zodiac sign one as well, which is obviously meanings of the zodiac signs. So it might be Aries, might be willpower or determination. Sagittarius might be adventure or travel. So there's a bit of a mixture here with the storytelling dice, the planetary dice, the zodiac ones, and then the numbers. These
Can I just
ones are
say
quite big.
something
Yeah.
that's just occurred to me? That one that looks like the Starship Enterprise, that's Uranus,
Yep.
to boldly go where no one's gone before.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It makes perfect sense.
I know. Sorry, that just popped into my head. So I just
It
thought
does. It makes perfect sense. Some of these number ones have got. I don't think you can see it on the camera. They've got little turtles inside them. Not real turtles, obviously, but they were actually a set of Dungeons and Dragons dice that I cannibalized. But it's actually really interesting. You literally do like Heather does with the bones and Ness does with the runes. You have them in a bag, a little crochet bag. That I think, Heather, that's one of your crochet bags, isn't it? Shake them up, ask your question, and then literally handful out. And then you do your reading from there. So we've got a fountain, which might be well, it's water, so emotions. It might be being overwhelmed by emotions. It might be that you are celebrating something as well. It might be that you need to cleanse, let go of something. There's a clock here, so it might be that there's a time limit on what you're doing. There is Aries there, which is willpower, initiative, new beginnings as well. Number 10 on the planets one, so that's career, that's success, that's fortunes. So you would bring all that into the reading and they will start to relate to each other. Oh, cup of tea, thank you. So that's dice, and very, very easy to do. You could do it with a normal set of dice and just work with the numbers. Or you could do it with like those storytelling dice or Dungeons and Dragons dice. Very, very simple and easy to make. And quite interesting to work with. The animal ones as well that come out, they're all from the storytelling dice. And very quickly, someone said about making their own runes. So another one of Heather's bags. I made these, which are on shells, and I used paint pens. And they've got all different images on them. So that there's a little devil on that one. Camera and the light's rubbish. I've got an electricity symbol. I've got leaves for new growth. I've got a sun. I've got a harvest image, which is one stolen from the witches' runes. There's a compass there. There's a little house. And those all work with how I connect with them. These are my images, my symbols, ones that I've decided to draw on there. So there's a suitcase for travel. There's a cross for crossroads. There's a book for study. There's arrows for directions. Just literally painted skull and crossbones. That's obviously the pirate one. Literally painted on shells that I bought from Amazon, I think they were. And they're my own rune set. You draw your own pictures, put your own images on there. You can draw specific flowers, herbs, plants. You could have trees, whatever you want to draw on there. You could have all the different moon phases drawn on there as well. And that makes it very, very personal. And you do readings from that. So simples. So that's me, Xenia. As for animal tarots, I'm after the Tarot of the Owls. Oh, Heather, have you heard of that one?
I know. That's why I put it up.
Jane, wouldn't it be good to have Twin Peaks tarot? I have a Star Trek tarot. I have a Star Trek Next Generation tarot with Data and Jean-Luc Picard and all sorts. Numerology comes from tarot and houses from astrology. Numerology is its own kind of thing. The magic of numbers, that's a separate numerology thing. Houses are from astrology, yes. So I have one dice for numerology and one dice for the houses. Xenia, the dice. Isn't it lovely? Everything and anything can be used as an oracle. Absolutely anything. You can make it up from whatever you want. Xenia, so you can gamble yourself a new astrological birth chart if you're not happy with yours. Yeah, of course. Just throw the dice, see what happens. Is it not a strawberry? Didn't see the white before. I don't know.
I think she's talking about the dragon bag.
Oh, okay. Oh no, yes, it's a dragon. There we are. It is a dragon bag. Nicola, really loved the shell runes. We're definitely making a set. I think you can make them into anything that you want using whatever images you want. Jane used my Alice box as an oracle by asking someone I know in spirit if they're around to have a chat. Yesterday I asked for the lovely Yvonne Parker and the Alice box said I'm here, followed by some useful stuff. You can literally buttons, stones, flower heads, seed, bottle tops. Yeah, I've seen it done with charms as well. So all the old charms and beads from your jewelry box, you can read with those as well. Anything can be used for divination. Moena used to use Christmas gift tags for reading. Nice, that's an interesting idea. Brilliant. So that's me. That's my dice. That's yes. Make your oracles out of anything. And now we're going to. Andrew's got a question. Read the number dice. Where do we find the correspondence meanings of the numbers as you were describing them? So there are general numerology meanings for the numbers. I've got a numerology book by Ellen Sentier, so I took my basics from those. But it's also about using your intuition. It's also about how you relate to a number. So 2 for me would often mean pairs, commitment, unions, that kind of thing. 1 would be self because it's singular. But there are basic numerology meanings. You can Google it if you want to give yourself somewhere to start from. I love the idea of using Christmas gift tags. That's a brilliant idea. Good morning, Alison. Yeah, it's up to you. I think a big part of all of this is intuition. Use your own intuition. And each one will be different in each different reading as well. David, dice set sweet, but I'd have to fight the urge to shout out throwing a natural 20 during a reading. Yeah. That's a Dungeons and Dragons reference. Angela, it was from numerology. Yes, one of my dice is numerology. The other one is houses, astrology houses. But you could just make a set with just numbered dice and have different. So 1 dice could be for career, 1 dice could be for home, 1 could be for love, 1 could be for money. It's up to you. It's your set. You make it up how it works for you. Over to Ness.
Right. Last time I spoke about working with the Outer Fifth Art runes. But I thought I'd go into a couple of other things that I work with as well, alongside the runes. I have here a runic oracle, which is a small set of cards, and as you can see, they have the rune symbols on each one, but they also have an animal familiar, which is also to do with it ties in with the runes. So obviously, this one on the top here is Bacana, and you can see it if I turn it the other way. There is a hare on there, and it's sort of fertility and new beginnings. So each card, although it does have the rune at the top, I tend to draw these normally on a daily basis. I've got a little stand that they can go in. Sometimes I draw the runes that I work with, but a lot of time I draw these as well, mainly for my own sort of personal use. I've yet to do them when we're doing the readings. Don't always sort of like, some of the animals resonate with me, other ones don't. We've got an eagle here with Tiwaz, and for Isa we've got a bat which is hanging upside down, and there's ice. Obviously, Isa means ice, and you can see there that there are some icicles. So it is not just working with the rune meanings themselves; it's also working with the animal spirits within that as well. They're quite good. I got them from Etsy. Someone called Athena Arcane. She does a lot of her own. She's got another two or three different sets as well. But as soon as I saw she was making these, I thought I've got to have those. I mean, they're just brilliant. Got Gifu and sort of Winjo, and uh, the hummingbird is all to do with joy and wonder. So there's each elements on there. As you can see, there's moon phases as well, so it ties in with everything. This is quite a nice one. Kinaz, and that sort of clarity, and you can see there's the owl there and the torch, reading the book, so it's quite a nice card. So as well as those, when I'm doing my readings, one of the things sometimes that I'm drawn to work with during the readings, I work with the not just the ancestors of the Norse and my own ancestors and other ancestors that might want to come in. I also work with the spirit of Crow. Crow has been with me a long, long time, pretty much before my path started. I had an absolute fascination with them. I saw a film called The Crow, which is an old horror, starring Brandon Lee, and I was mesmerised. I loved the whole gothic imagery of the Crow, but it sort of set me off on my path with transformation. The sort of the person I'd always been fascinated with occult things, and my mum used to worry about me because I was the one doing blood writing, not real blood, just with red pens and things. She always thought I was quite macabre, but it's just sort of paved that way, I think, for the path that I'm on now. I think I was getting little nudges from sort of Crow, and I think he got a bit fed up in the end and gave me an almighty whack around the head, and the rest is history. So in here, Rachel gifted me some little, there's crow vertebrae in there. I won't undo it because I don't very often undo it. I think there's crow, there's some rib bones, I think, in there as well, and they're lovely. But the first thing I sort of wanted to do was put them in a little pouch here, and they're tied up. This was actually from one of Rachel's workshops
Long while back.
many years ago, for a long time, wasn't it? But it's got all sorts of images on it. It's got a crow on it, and it's got skulls on it, all the sorts of things I like. And there's a crow feather in there, which was also part of the bone set. So that the whole thing is just the energy of crow right there. I use it when I'm meditating with crow. I use it when I want some questions, when I sort of want that extra connection. I can sit and do that and hold it. And very often when I'm doing the readings, crow energy wants to come in as well. So that sort of sits on the side. Obviously, I've got a little tray here which I do my room readings on, and that will very often sit on the side, and that energy will come in. So that's one of the things I use. The other one, my good old crystal skulls. I've got 13 of them at the moment. Strange, it's a good number, isn't it? I haven't felt the need to add to them yet, but they seem. But I've been collecting them for a while. I've had a thing about skulls since I was a child. Again, my mum thought that was very bizarre. I did have a walk round. I did spot a big resin life-size skull in a shop in Wales when we were on holiday once. And I was pushing my two young boys in their double pushchair, and I made my mum carry this resin skull around. She wasn't very happy about it, but it was resin, wasn't real. I've had a thing about skulls, and after I thought they were a bit macabre and thought maybe I shouldn't work with them, but I love them, absolutely love them. And I worked with crystals, probably not so much now, the tumble stones and things. I find I'm more drawn to natural items. So, I mean, the crystals are natural, of course, but sort of like I do have a crow skull, but I started getting crystal skulls a little while ago, and I've got this collection, and they sit up on a shelf. I have done a blog about them. They speak to me. They sit there and they all face me. They were facing forward on the shelf. They're just to the left here. They now all face me when I'm here, this is sort of my sacred space. My laptop, I have my altars all around, and they are there. And sometimes when I'm doing the readings, one of them will sort of want to come and have a look. Very often when I'm doing work on the laptop, doing any kitchen witch work, one of them will sort of feel drawn to come down and sort of sit on the desk. And it doesn't always have to tie. I mean, this one is Mukite. I don't always think, oh, I need a certain skull for something. Sometimes I do, but most of the time it's just one will want to come out. And it's not till a bit later on, I think, that that one is there for a particular reason. I have a clear quartz skull. That's a general all rounder. I've got a rose quartz one. If I'm doing any sort of spell work, I will bring. I just recently did a spell for healing and positive energies and things. So I was drawn to use my rose quartz skull. So I had all this set up with my spell, and that skull came down, and that was part of the spell. So yes, they will sort of appear, but they do sometimes like to be part of the readings, the room readings that I do. I think they're maybe just a bit nosy and they want to know what's going on. And I think they also lend their energies a bit as well. They are quite comical. I will show my sort of favourite. This one we got in that was it. Pagan Tribal, wasn't it? Last year. It was one of the ones we went to last year.
Yeah.
And I think I sort of felt a bit sorry for it. Angela from Phoenix Flames is where I got him from, and he's a sort of the Sakura quartz, so it's sort of like the sort of the cherry blossom quartz. He's got a bit of everything in there, but he is a bit battered. He's got a broken nose. His eye socket's a bit dented, and I think he was a bit unloved, but he was shouting at me from the shelf. And I kept going back and I kept umming and ahhing. And Rachel and Heather were looking at herbs and different things. And I just kept going back to have another. And I thought, no, it's no good. I'm going to. And Heather said, he's calling you. I think he wants to come home with you. So, yes, parted with some pennies. And it's probably my favourite one. He just sort of needs a bit of love, really. I say he has got a broken nose and a bit of a battered sort of eye socket there, but there is also some beautiful sort of like druzy and other sort of. It's fascinating to meditate with this skull as well. There's all sorts of inclusions and things on it, and you can't sort of see it in this light, but in the sunlight, that bit at the top actually sort of glows. But yes, so they are there to sort of lend their energies as part of the reading as well. I say just different ones tend to get drawn to, and they just sit there. And very often afterwards, I will get also other insights as well on the reading. So that helps me as well to connect with the runes. It's very bizarre, crystal skulls and runes. You'd think totally two different mediums, but it does work. So,
And I will say that he
and
followed us when you put him on on the bedside thing in the room.
Yes.
He moved. He
He
followed.
kept looking at us.
Yeah. He watched
yeah,
everything we were up to.
He did. It was
yes.
like I'm protecting her. That's so.
Yeah, what are you lot up to?
Yes, Jane. Yes. Wonder if blank dice can be found. Yes, you can. Hobbycraft has them. I've seen them on Amazon as well. Blank dice, so you could put your own images on them. You can also get runes and ogham in dice form as well. You can also get old dice that are made of bone if you wanted to add one to your bone set. Tina, if I wanted to make my own set of witches' runes on wood, which would be the best wood to do so? I think whichever one you're drawn to, don't you? I
Yeah.
think it's
I
personal
mean,
choice
my
there.
witches' runes are actually on Fimo.
Fimo.
Yes.
And obviously purple Fimo, because what else would
Why
I
not?
use?
Yeah.
But yeah, so my witches' runes are
I
on
think
Fimo.
we'll come to those in a second. Xenia, those rune animal cards are gorgeous. Love these every time you put them into the Kitchen Witch newsletter. Yes, if you've signed up for the Kitchen Witch newsletter, you will see some of the rune cards in this is part of the newsletter. Jane, Ness, your one Joe card made me think of a weird song from years ago. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose. I think I've heard that too. Yeah. I think I've heard that.
I'm not sure that would bring you joy, but there you go.
Emma, if anyone's thinking of burning their own runes or symbols onto wood, I found that apple, pine, or oak wood is very good for making sets with pyrography. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for that.
Xenia has come on and
Yes.
said about finding stuff in a craft shop, and David said about Hobbycraft.
Yeah, I think Hobbycraft do have a lot of the blank wood things, don't they?
Yeah, and Angela said you can get them on Amazon.
I know I've seen them. Emma, your skull is beautiful. There's your compliment for today. Your skull is beautiful. Xenia, our crystal skull families do a meetup. I have some human crystal skulls, but also some dragon crystal skulls, which I absolutely love. Yes, I'm hoping a dragon one will talk to me at some point. I haven't found one yet that's called to me, but they are amazing. Lucky Fairy Queen crystal skulls are gorgeous. It's the crystal skulls are a whole different thing to crystals. They are a separate entity, aren't they? You do work with them differently than you would other crystals. Jane saw a lovely crystal skull, greeny turquoise, at Witchfest years ago. Didn't buy it straight away. It was £45. When I went back to bag it, it was gone. Ended up buying one made from coral and named it Maud. Oh. Good name, though.
Yeah.
Angela, Moonstone in Romsey do beautiful crystal skulls. There you go. Next time you're in Romsey, definitely worth a look.
Angela
far,
does, doesn't she? She her crystals are.
Yeah. Phoenix Flames, brilliant crystals. Couldn't resist one either. Was carrying it around during a tough time. Yeah, crystals work. Heather, make a purple oracle. I think we're about to see her purple oracle. In a fit of waste not want not, I made a set of ogham staves while doing Heather's branch class by cutting up old pine shoe rack which had broken. Good idea.
I know, it was brilliant.
Using a small steel rule of straight lines. Brilliant.
Yeah.
We
And
like
it
a bit of
worked really, really
recycling.
well. They were beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
We like a bit of recycling. Right. So come on, show and tell then, Heather.
Okay, so the last two bits that I pulled out, because these are things that I use. I don't always use them in readings, but I do use. So like I just said, these are, so when I did the branch class many years ago now, for the witches' runes. I looked at using wood, and then I got myself some purple Fimo, like you do, and made my witches' runes out of purple Fimo.
They're a nice size too.
Yeah.
I like those.
So yeah, so they are in, and I've got a little piece of paper just as a reminder in case I forget what they are, tucked in there. That's literally from years ago when I first made them. But yeah, so they come out every now and again when I feel the need. And the other thing that I it's quite embarrassing. I love pendulums. I think so. This is the one that sits beside my chair downstairs. I have one beside my bed. I have one in the car. I have one in every possible bag, basket. Yeah, I have pendulums because I just find them really. If I'm not quite sure about something, or I'm my intuition, or I'm just feeling a little bit off balance, I just find having a pendulum around just is really useful. This was made for me by one of my friends, Becky. Most of them, I will admit to being amethyst. I think I have got a couple of clear quartz.
Quelle surprise!
I know, what a shock. I think I think my rose quartz. I didn't get on. Strangely enough, I didn't get on very well with the rose quartz. So I think that's one of the ones that I've actually done as part of one of our charity hauls at Wandering Witches. But yeah, I literally have a pendulum in every possible orifice you can think of, and the only one that I have never been able to use is hematite. Hematite and I do not get on very well. There's two crystals that I don't.
Yeah,
Malachite
no, me
and
neither.
yes,
Hematite, no.
Malachite I think is absolutely stunningly beautiful at a distance. As soon as I get anywhere near it, I feel very unwell. And the other one I can't even wear, even a tiny little pebble, a tiny little stone on a thing. It just weighs me down. And there was somewhere I went. This was in Glastonbury, and it was a moot that I went to, and they were doing divination with pendulums and rods, and the only pendulums they had were hematite, and I tried virtually all of them, and they none of them had a battery. None of them moved. They literally. So if I say yes to this one, it'll automatically start moving. If I say no, it'll slow down, and then it'll think about it, and then it'll start to give me a no. The hematite, right, stay still. The hematite literally, and the more I held it, the closer and closer it got to the floor without me even doing anything. And they had about 12 of these things, and I tried every single one of them. And then they handed me the rods, and I was off, and I was fine. So yeah, really odd. But those are the other bits that I tend to use frequently.
I think there's so many different things, isn't there? Variations. Okay, we've got a question about the tattoos. Now, this is interesting. We've all got variations on our wrists of the tattoos. The one that we've all got the same is crossed broomsticks, which was done by Susie Edwards Goose, and it is in memory of the witches that have gone before us, those that were burnt, tortured. It's a kind of nod that we recognise them. I've got the Kalach on my wrist. You've got is it an Ellen on your wrist, Heather?
Yes, yeah.
The little goddess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Susie Edwards did as well. Now you've got the stang as well on there, haven't you?
I have. So my one that's upside down now, because obviously of the way of having to hold my hand. So that's got the broomstick and stang. So that's actually recognising that there were male witches as well as female witches. I've also got the double broomsticks, but I'd have to undress to show you that one. So
Yeah, don't challenge her. So yes, they are the crossed broomsticks. They are basically to recognise those that have gone before us. Xenia suggests you might be a pendulumaholic, Heather.
You never know when you're going to need one.
No, I do work with one on occasion. But I think you're right though. Some you're drawn to, some you're not. It's like crystals, isn't it? Some will work with you and some just aren't going to. It's personal choice again, isn't it? Lucky Fairy Queen, love pendulums too. They are so mystical and give me great daily guidance. Love my amethyst pendulum. Emma, have a crystal skull pendant. Ooh, made out of rhodonite.
Ooh.
Wear it for emotional healing and good mental health. Ooh, you haven't got a crystal skull pendant, Ness. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yet.
Just
Saying that, I've got a white howlite, and it is actually got a hole drilled through.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I could
Ooh.
That looks quite
read
painful.
something. Yeah, drilled through his head. Poor
That's a
chap.
bit medieval, isn't it? We're going to drill a hole in your head to let the evil spirits out. Angela, a girl after my own heart, have quite a collection of pendulums and like you have them all over the place. She's always got, I tell you, if Heather tips her bra out, there's all sorts of stuff in there. Stones and teeth and bones and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, the ball tooth got straight in the bra.
Tooth got straight in the bra, yeah. Good morning, Maria. David, fun thing I like about a pendulum is you can wear one around your neck as a pendant and no one would know. This is very true. Very true. But again, pendulums, you can use anything, can't you? Hagstone, pebble with a hole in it on a bit of string, a wedding ring, a seed head, anything that's heavy enough to weight the string down, you can use as a pendulum, can't you? Xenia, got an amethyst pendulum too. After my brass Isis pendulum raised issues at airport security. Gladly, the female officer was also one of those, recognised what it was for and let me go with it. Yeah, I'd never thought about that. It's a bit embarrassing. Zoe's just looked at the screen to see Heather's rune. She asked if they were Oreo cookies. Well, actually, you can do divination with cookies too.
You can get the little Oreos. Have you seen the little packets of Oreos? You could actually do divination with a little pack of Oreos, and then you can eat them.
You can do divination with cookies. You can do divination with cake crumbs, seeing how the cake crumbs have fallen on the plate. Yeah, you can divination with anything. Absolutely anything. Jane, like to give the trick-or-treat kids something educational as well as sweets. So the other year I made lots of pendulums. Nice. Using small coloured crystal chandelier drops from Amazon, chain beads and jump rings from Hobbycraft. Kept a black one and called it Jet. It works brilliantly for yes, no questions. Very nice idea. Very nice idea. David, on the wrist, very brave. Yes, I can confirm. I have tattoos all over my body. The one on my wrist hurt the most. Need to add to my ink. I feel string. It's only been 15 years. You can't just have one, can you? It's one of those things you have to collect. Yeah, I think I don't have any tattoos on this side other than the two at the wrist because this bit's really tender. Got them all on the outsides.
See, these weren't too bad because they were hand poked.
Yes, that makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah. 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 It's veins. It's because you've got veins here. That makes me do veins. Maria, have a rose quartz one that I always use. Rose quartz is quite a nice, gentle.
For some reason, I mean, it would, but it would be very. It was temperamental, shall I say? Because I always ask, "Can I use you? Can I ask? Can I use you for?" And very often I'd get a no.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have, lots of things, but yeah.
Yeah. Xenia, pendulums are small to place everywhere and cheap, but also funny because we could use jewelry, necklace and pendant as a absolutely. Yeah. Could use a necklace on the chain as a pendulum easily, very, very easily. Angela, carries a garnet in my bra.
Yep.
Yeah. I find it incredibly uncomfortable. I don't know how you do it. Emma, cookies and cake wouldn't last long enough for divination. No, that's when you read the crumbs. Lani, have 2 newish ones, one on the inside of my arm. Ooh. Oh, and one on my spine, which hurt the most. Yes, I have Rhiannon on my back. And when they were tattooing the top bit right on the top of my spine there, it was, oh. It's where you've got flesh that doesn't see the light of day, isn't it? Yeah, we do love a tattoo. But yes, that we've all got some ritual tattoos. The crossed broomsticks were very much ritual. Susie sang a chant, didn't she, when she was doing them? My Kalak one was ritual. My bees were ritual ones. Heather, you've got all of yours were done by Susie, weren't they?
Yeah, so they've all got. I haven't actually had one for a couple of years now. Susie and I were talking about it earlier on in the week, so there could be another one brewing because there's. I mean, I didn't actually get any tattoos until I was 56. Because I knew I wanted them, but I didn't just want them. I wanted them to be meaningful because I thought if they're going to be on my body, I don't want to turn around and because I knew so many people that had them and go, oh, I always regret having had that done. And I never wanted to be in that position. I wanted them to be meaningful. So now I have quite a few. But yeah, I haven't actually had one for a couple of years because it hasn't been. There's been, Susie and I have talked about them when we've seen each other, but nothing's really. But suddenly this year, and especially this week, something's just clicked. So Susie and I are making plans.
Yes, I think they have. All of mine tell a journey, my spiritual journey, and I think with any of them, they have a meaning behind them. I think it's important to think about exactly what you want and why you want it as well. Yeah, definitely. Tina, made my main pendulum with an amethyst triangle and used a crystal chip bracelet opened up instead of a chain. It has weight to it, feels great and more personal to me. Brilliant. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we have done our hour. Time is up. Bing. Microwave's done.
You need to sleep.
I do need to sleep. Yeah. Yes. Close to the bone, always more painful than flesh. Yes, the one on my foot was very painful too because that's on the bone and not an awful lot of flesh. I think for me, tattoos have to be meaningful, but that's just me. Next one will be in honor of my late dad, and very nice memorial idea. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us. We have lots of stuff coming up, so check the Kitchen Witch website on the events page to see what we've got coming up. We are going to have more of these Friday morning Waffling Witches on a regular basis. We've also got some online events coming up next year as well, and we've also got our autumn and winter online ritual workshops as well, so have a look for the dates of those. Lots coming up. And if you'd like us to talk about anything in particular, or if you'd like us to make any workshops for any particular subjects, do let us know. And we'll see whatever we can do. So thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, Peter, for putting up about the events.
We would love to see photos of your divination sets. If you've made your own or you've got some that you would recommend, do pop the pictures on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook group. We would love to see those photos. And otherwise, have a very good week, and we will see you all next time. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.